Hello, Ganesh sir. Can I start?
Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Okay. Hello, madam.
Just a minute.
Okay, welcome you all. Welcome you all in this 5 days training program. 5 days training program on image and video processing using opencv. Now, I request our HOD madam, Dr. Charda Chaugule, to give the brief introduction about the training program and the resource person. Over to you, madam.
Okay, thank you, madam. Just to confirm, am I audible to all?
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon to all. Our faculty members of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department and other department also, students, and today's resource person, Mr. Ganesh Tarde sir. On behalf of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department, I, Dr. Sharda Chaugule, welcome you all for this 5 days online training program on image and video processing using opencv-python. Okay, basically this training program is organized as a part of our activity under Center of Excellence in Computer Vision. I'm happy to share with you all that Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department has formed this Center of Excellence in Computer Vision recently through GB Softtronic Solutions, Nashik. And we are having with us Mr. Ganesh Attade, who is the founder and director of GB Softtronic Solutions. So I welcome Mr. Ganesh Attade sir for accepting our invitation for this training program. Okay. Here I would like to give a brief introduction, or you may say it as a purpose of this Center of Excellence in Computer Vision. Basically, the objective of formation of this Center of Excellence is to enhance the practical knowledge and to develop the research culture in students in the field of image and video processing using machine learning, as well as to provide internship and placement oriented training for students. Nowadays, machine learning, embedded system, IoT, these are considered to be the thrust areas. And we can do lots of work and research and various applications related to some social or maybe some industry purpose or many more in the field of image and video processing. Some students are from second year also, they may not be much aware of this particular field, but for them, but at least you are aware that every one of us are using image as well as video as a main means of communication. And you may be aware of this famous sentence that is at the first page of the book of digital image processing by Gonzalez: a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a video speaks more than that. Okay, so this particular domain, that is image and video processing, is having applications in almost all sectors, including secure access. It may be with the help of face recognition or fingerprint recognition, or maybe any other aspects like palm recognition and so on. That may be useful for secure access or maybe for keeping employee record. Then medical imaging is also one of the main domain of this image processing, where we can able to, or doctors can able to get the exact things related to the diseases. Then processing of satellite images, it may be related to weather or it may be related to green audit or finding the water zones, as well as in military and defense and industrial supervision. I have told few names, but there are many more applications of this particular domain, that is image and video processing. And through this training program, we are, as course contents are already shared with you all, we are going to get this knowledge of this particular domain using OpenCV. So basically OpenCV, you will get this in detail, but just I will brief this one. It is a open source library used specifically for computer vision, and there are many more applications you can work with this particular library. It may be related to machine learning, deep learning, and so on. Okay. So with this brief about this training program, I am sure that through this 5 days training program, you students as well as our faculty members get some new insights in the field of digital image and video processing. And you will definitely uh, uh, get interested to work in this field, maybe for your final year projects or maybe for building any applications of your own. So once again, I would like to thank Mr. Ganesh Attade sir, who has accepted our invitation for this training program. Thank you, sir. And I would like to stop my address here, and I would like to hand over to our faculty coordinator, Govil Karmal. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for the brief introduction about the 5 days training program and the resource person. Now, I request our 5 days training program resource person, Ganesh Attade sir, to give the introduction about you and then start the session. Over to you, sir.
Yes. So firstly, check with the mic. So I'm audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm starting my introduction. Myself, Ganesh Attade. I am the founder and the CEO of GB Softonic Solution. My company is located at Nasik. My company is majorly working on embedded, where we can contribute in open source technology, such as we're working on a Raspberry Pi, we're working on Arduino, ESP8266, and also we are working on different open source technologies like opencv also. Okay, majorly our strength is in Python. So most of the projects that we are dealing with are implemented in a Python. Okay, so that's why today we are going to see this implementation of the computer vision in a language Python. Okay, opencv can be implemented in a C++, either C++ or either in a Python, but I always prefer Python. The C++ is having its own advantage because C++ is faster than Python, but Python is having the better libraries implemented, and most of the libraries are open source. Most of the libraries you can get it on a GitHub, so that's why its development becomes very easier. Okay, so that's why we promote this opencv implementation using the Python. So let me start with my presentation, and without waiting for time, we'll start with the opencv because we have to do the lots of the hands-on session. Might you have prepared with that also? You must have the computer with you or the laptop with you. Any operating system can work, like Windows operating system, Mac operating or Linux operating system can also work. The very simple installations are there. I will be guiding you all the steps of the installation. Today, the task of the today, or the aim for the today's session, the first session is the installation of all the softwares and the opening your or doing your first opencv program. That is, whatever the image, if you have already stored in your computer, how to open it, and how to get different properties of that image using the Python. Okay, so let me start with the presentation. But before going for the presentation, can you tell me, 93 participants are there. Okay, so out of the 93 participants, can you tell me how many of you know the Python? Okay, if you know the Python, just type Python in chat box. Otherwise, if you don't know Python, just type don't know. Okay, don't know Python. Okay, I'm waiting for your responses. If you know the Python, just type Python. If you don't know Python, just type don't know Python. So that, okay, if you don't know Python, some of you might have seen that if you are from second year or if you are from third year, and if you are not already having the knowledge of Python, we will take some only 10 to 15 minutes for the Python basics, and then we can start with the OpenCV, because the Python basics is needed for implementation of the projects. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So everyone has to type. Okay, so I'm saying your answers. The 50-50 percentage, or 50 to 50% students are knowing the Python, and 50% are not knowing the Python. Okay, so yeah, we will start with the very first one, Python basics. How to write a variable, how to create a variable, very simple. Then how to write if else, for loop. Okay, if you know the C, C++, and Java, you can easily correlate with that also. Okay. So we'll start. I will start with my presentation. Yes. One minute. Okay, so is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. Okay. So firstly, introduction, because before starting any point, the introduction we must have. That is when it is started, how this technology is invented, when it is invented. Okay, so it is started by the Intel. OpenCV was started by the Intel in the year 1999. Okay, 1999 by the Gary Bradsky, and the first release came out with the 2000. Okay, the first release came out with the C++ implementation. Then the Vadim Pisarsky joined the Gary Bradsky to manage the Intel Russian software for the OpenCV team. And in 2005, the OpenCV was used on Stanley, the vehicle that won the 2005. Okay, so that's all this information. You can easily get it on a internet. That is what is the history of OpenCV, what are the versions of the OpenCV, all the versions and all the history you can get it on a. But before starting any technology, you must know the history. So that's why I have included this slide. Okay, so OpenCV now support the multitude of the algorithm related to the computer vision and the machine learning, and it is expanding day by day. The reason behind expanding day by day is because of it is open source. Anyone can contribute in the implementation of the OpenCV. Suppose if you are using the OpenCV and you are thinking that this particular function is not available in OpenCV, it should have, or this particular function can be implemented in a better way. Okay, so what you can do, you can go to the GitHub repository of OpenCV and you can commit the changes. Okay, so if the changes are valid and if it is better changes, then your name can becomes in a contributors of the OpenCV. That's why everyone is contributing in this community, OpenCV community, because it is an open source. Okay, and because it is open source, anyone can start, and all the codes, maximum codes are available. Just you have to focus on what you have to do, or make most of the implementation are there. Suppose there is some algorithm, suppose KNN algorithm. If you want to implement KNN algorithm, then you must have to go through the study of the mathematics of KNN, and then after that you have to implement the KNN algorithm. But it is not in the case of this. The KNN algorithm, if you want, just use its function and that's it. Just provide some parameters to the KNN, and now you can get the distance between the two neighbors pixels by using this KNN. Okay, very simple introduction. So what I have to tell you that this is not a difficult one. This is not a difficult. This is the very easiest one. Just make your mind that this is the easiest language or this is the easiest library in the world, and then you can easily start learning this opencv. Okay, so it's opencv supports the wide variety of language like C++, Python, Java. These three implementations are there. You can use any implementation, but most of the people are using Python. But if you go for the if you want the speed, then better to go for C++. But C++ implementation are somewhat difficult to implement, because you know C++ language, there are lots of concepts are there in C++. So for modifying the any single file, okay, single file of your project, then you must know the thorough knowledge of the C++. Okay, why Python? Python is easy. How it is easy, we are going to see. Okay, and is available on different platforms including Windows, Linux, OS X, like Mac OS, iOS, Android. All these operating system, on all the operating system, you can use the opencv. Okay, opencv-python is a Python API for the opencv, so combining the best quality of the opencv C++ API and the Python language. Now if you are thinking that opencv, if you are using opencv-python, it is the pure implementation of the Python, it is not true. If you download the opencv-python library, it is some implementation are the C++ implementation and some implementation are the Python implementation. Getting that? So front end is the Python, back end is the C++, back end is C++. Getting that? Again, now opencv-python is a library of Python binding designed to solve the computer vision problem. Now what we can do with the opencv-python? Yes, computer vision. Now what do you mean by computer vision? Now your computer is not having the vision. Now what do you mean by vision? Vision means, suppose if your human is not having the eyes, then the human cannot get the different information regarding what is in front of it. The same happened with the computer. Now if the computer wants to know that what is in front of that computer, then the computer must have the vision. You can say that the computer, we can connect the camera. Now camera is just a sensor. Camera is capturing the image, and that image get converted into digital format and get provided to your computer. But your computer don't know what is in front of it. It is a man or woman, or it is an animal or a human. Okay, now that cannot be distinguished. That cannot be distinguished by providing only the web camera or by connecting only the camera to the computer. So what is vision? Vision is the intelligence. So we must add some intelligence to that web camera. So by looking by that camera, the computer, if the computer can able to understand what is in front of it, then you can say that that is the vision is added to the computer. Getting that? So for example, I want to implement one program in which my software should be login only when if I am in front of it only. If someone is sitting in front of the computer, then that should not be login. Okay, your software should not be login. So what you can do, you can implement a algorithm, face recognition algorithm, through which you can get the features of your face. You are storing the features of your face, and whenever you sit in front of the camera, then your camera is capturing the image, and that image features get compared with the stored feature, and if it is matches, then you have written the one program that if the feature get matches, or if the same person, if the authenticate person is in front of that software, then the login should be happen. So that is some intelligence. So that's why in artificial intelligence, the computer vision plays a very, very important role. Getting that? So that's why Now you always see that the buzzword artificial intelligence, machine learning. Now these words, to compute with this word, we must have this computer vision. We must connect this vision to the computer. And we are one step toward that. Now what is Python? Yeah, most of you know the Python and 50% of you don't know Python. So what is Python? Python is a general purpose language. Okay, who is the inventor of Python? Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum is the inventor of the Python, which is become very popular because now I'll just go to the Google and just search out what is the number one language. In 2020, the number one language is Java. In 2021, now the number one language is the Python. Because most of the implementation, most of the projects has been diverted from the Java to Python. Because why it is converted? Because it's simplicity, code readability, code reusability. Most of the project, that's why, has been implemented in Python. Now, if you want to use this computer vision using the Python, your computer must have the library installed called the opencv-python. Python uses the NumPy library. So it is, you can say it is a dependency. So if you want to use opencv-python, then first library that you should import as a NumPy. Now what is this import, how it is imported, how it is installed, how it is downloaded, I will be guiding you all. This is just a theory. Just listen this theory carefully, and if you have the notebook and pen with you, then you can make a notes of it. Okay, so NumPy, which is highly optimized library for numerical operation like MATLAB style syntax. So generally the NumPy library used for the matrix operation, or simply array operation. Matrix is nothing but the arrays: single dimensional, 2-dimensional, and 3-dimensional array. What is image? If you see the image, then you see that if you open the image, what happened? You can get the image like a grayscale image, or black and white image, or the color image. If your image is a black and white image, all the pixels are made up with the only two values, 0 or 1. Every pixel is made up with the value only 0 and 1. If there is a grayscale image, every pixel is having the value from 0 to 255. And if your image is a color image, then every pixel is having the pixel value as a 3 values. That is a BGR image: blue pixel, red pixel, and the green pixel. Now using this 3 combination of these pixels value, you can get you can create the any color, and by combining that all the pixel, you are getting the color image. Okay, so if you want to compute, if you want to get a computation of these pixels, then what is this pixel? Pixels are generally stored in arrays. So we need to have the mathematical operation on the array. So that's why the NumPy library will help with that. The NumPy library is having the built-in function using which we can do the very simple mathematical calculations on the given array. Are you getting that? Okay, so how to do? Just start with the installation. So how many of you are having the computer with you? Just type me in chat box. If you have the computer with you or the laptop with you, just type me in the chat box. Yes, Samarth, Jayesh, Yash, Samriddhi, Alina, Ashwini, Abhishek. Okay. If you don't have the computer with you, then what you can do, or laptop with you, then what you can do, you can rewatch the recording of this session, and you can do all the installation afterwards. Okay. Okay, so very first, what is the first step? The first step is the Python installation. First step is the Python installation. So how to install the Python? How to install Python? Okay, so for Python installation, firstly, you have to check that your computer is not having the Python or not. So how to check that? Now my operating system is the Mac operating system. If your operating system is the Windows operating system, then firstly you have to go to the run and just type there cmd, or just open the command prompt. There is one search window is there, and here, and that search window, just you have to type the command prompt. So open the command prompt, and in my case I'm opening the terminal. In Windows it is called terminal, and in Windows it is called as a command prompt. Just open the command prompt and just type python dash dash version. Okay, just type python dash dash version. Why I'm doing this? Because I have to check that my computer is really having the Python install or not. If you are having the Python installed, then no need to install it again. If this command get failed, then you have to install the Python. How to install the Python? I will guide you. Okay, so now if I'm running this command python dash dash version, not underscore, python space, do the space here, and after that give the command as dash dash version. If you are doing this python dash dash version, you should get the version number of the Python if it is installed. If it is not installed, then you will get an error there. Python is not a recognized command. You are getting the, how many of you are getting that error? Yes, how many of you are getting that error? Just type error in the chat box. Or otherwise, if you have the Python installed already, just type your version numbers. Type the version number. Just like I'm having the Python installed, having the version as a 3.8.8. This is not a latest version. Latest version is 3.9. But for this application, it works very easily. Okay, so madam has already told you that you should have the Python install in your computer. So how to install? If your computer is not having the Python, if this command gives the error, then what you should do? Firstly, you should go to the python.org. Okay, python.org. Yes, Rucha, if you are getting the error, so follow this step. Just go to the python.org. Go to the python.org. And when you are going to the python.org, you can have this website which having the all the success story or all the versions of the Python. Now where from you download? Yes, just click on the downloads button. Yeah, you can click on the download button, and whatever, depending on your operating system, what is the best version is available for your operating system, you are getting here. The latest version is the Python 3.9.7. But if you are having the version from 3.6 onward, then also it works. Okay? No need to remove it and no need to install the newer one. Okay, so if your computer is not having the Python, you have to go to the python.org, click on the downloads. When you click on the downloads, now you can download this Python. Now my operating system is the Mac OS. That's why it is showing for the Mac OS. If your operating system is the Windows operating system, then it is showing for the Windows. Okay, just click on it. Depending on your operating system, a file get downloaded. Like if in case of Windows operating system, exe file get downloaded. Exe file get downloaded. Getting that? So just download it. Now installation is very easy. Okay, it is very similar like your game installation. Just double click on it and just read all these things where it is get installed. Installation path you can define by yourself, or if you don't want to install, just leave it as it is. Just click on next, and done. It will take 2 to 5 minutes for installation only. Okay, so now this is the first assignment. If your computer is not having the Python installed, your first assignment is install the latest Python. Okay, now I have done with the Python installation. Now how to check again? if the Python has been installed or not. Again, go to the terminal. Now open the new terminal. Close it first and again open the new terminal. Because if you are typing in the same command prompt, then you might not get the version number. You might confuse that, sir, I have already installed, but it is not getting my version number. So what you have to do, you have to close it first. You have to close it and again you have to open it. Again you have to open it, because a new session has been started when you open the new command prompt. Okay, and whatever the path variable you have updated, the new updated path variable is this command prompt is having. Now again type python -- version, and that's it. My Python get installed simply. Okay, so have you understood? Just type yes in chat box if you have understood this, how to install the Python. Just type yes. Reply those who are not having the Python. Okay. So now the next step is the installation of opencv. Okay, we'll do first all the installation and then we will move towards the Python basics. Okay, so how to check that opencv has been installed in my computer or not? Okay, so again, firstly, if you want to first check that opencv install or not, you just have to type the Python. Okay, just type only Python. When you only type the Python, you are getting into the Python prompt. This is called the Python prompt. Now whatever the command you are writing here, you can execute as a alone. You don't have to write the whole program here. Okay, so for example, I want to print my name, so I can print my name here. This is my first Python program, print Ganesh, and now I'm getting my answer. I'm getting my output. Getting that? So this is called the Python prompt. All the Python instruction you can execute here one by one. Okay, now I want to check here opencv has been installed in the Python or not. Now if you are newly downloaded the Python, definitely it is not having the opencv. Definitely it is not having opencv. So how to install it? Before installation, check that it is installed or not, because if you are using the college computer, it might happen that the college computer is having the opencv installed. So in that case, no need to install. So firstly, you have to type import cv2. What you have to do? Type import cv2. In front of that, this prompt, Python prompt, type import cv2. When you type the import cv2 and press enter, when you press enter, then you should get this error. What is that error? The error is the no module name cv2. No module name cv2. So if you are getting this error, it means that the cv2 library is not available, or opencv library is not available in your Python. So you cannot do the opencv practicals or opencv program on this Python terminal. Yes, so how many of you are getting this error? Just type me in chat box if you are getting this error, like module not found error, no module name cv2. Just type me in chat box. Yes. Okay, now how to install it? So for installation, we have to exit this Python prompt. Okay, so from the Python prompt we cannot install, so we have to exit from the Python prompt. So what is the command? Just type exit, and that brackets, exit and the circular brackets, and you are out of that Python prompt. Okay, so are you done with this? Exit from the Python prompt. Yes. Okay, so now I want to install it. So what is the step for installation? What is the command from installation? The command from installation is this: pip install opencv-python. pip install opencv-python. Now the latest version of the Python is come with the pip or pip3. If already Python 2 has been already available, then in your computer there is a pip3. Now what is pip3? Using the, you can say that pip3 is the repository, just like GitHub. Pip is the repository, just like GitHub, where all these Python libraries has been stored. So you can consider this is as an online storage, online hard disk, where you can get the Python libraries. So what I'm doing here, I'm saying here, install the opencv-python from the pip repository, Okay, so what I'm doing pip install opencv-python, pip install opencv-python, and when I press enter, if your computer is connected to internet, now very first thing is your computer should be connected to internet and you should have very good speed, internet speed. So now the Python installation has opencv installation has been started. It is downloaded first and it is installed. Now you can say here downloading opencv-python. The version is the 4.5.3.56 and NumPy is already has been installed, so that's why it is not installing. Requirement is already satisfied because NumPy is the dependency. If the NumPy is not having, it is install the NumPy also. Now in my computer NumPy is already installed, so that's why it is only installing the opencv-python. Okay, now how to check that opencv-python has been successfully installed or not? Yeah, you are recently installed, but you have to check it. Are you able to access it? So how to access? Just type Python again. If you're typing Python again, what you have to do? Import cv2. Now in this time I'm not getting any error. Do you see? Import cv2. When you do this import cv2 first time, it will take some time for importing. After that you can have this prompt again. Now in some cases you are getting the error when you type this program. When you type this instruction, you are getting the error as a pip is not recognized. Okay, pip is not recognized. So instead of pip, just type pip3. Instead of pip, just type pip3. Yes, anyone having this error? Pip or pip3? In some cases, if your computer is having the Python 2 and pip always, by default, if your computer has been installed with the Python 3, you can start with the command as a Python and pip. But if your computer is already having Python 2, the default name for Python is for the Python 2. And to access the Python 3, you have to use Python 3. And to access the pip for the Python 3, you have to use pip3. So have you done with the installation? Just type yes. If you have done with the yes. How many of you are getting the error in pip as well as pip3? Yes, tell me. Suyog is getting the error. Yes. Other? Or how many of you have installed the opencv-python with the pip or pip3? Just type installed in the chat box. Or if you are getting the error as a pip or pip3 is not recognized command, tell me. So I'm waiting for your answer for 1 minute and we'll start. So Soyag is only getting the error. Yes, any other? Any other participant? Pradnya is also getting the error. Yes. Okay. Akshay has installed. Any other? Because this is a live session and you should do with me. Whatever the installation, that installation has to be do with me only. Okay. Install Jayesh, install Akshay, install Ashwini, install. Okay, Jayesh. While installation of the Python, have you click on this? Oh, Suyog, not Jayesh, Suyog. When you install the Python, this type of the window came. Okay, in that window, actually, you have to tick mark this pip. If you uncheck this, then you get that error. Pip is not a recognized command. Install pip, which can download or install other Python package. So yes, Suyog, are you getting that? Why you are getting the error? And you are having the 3.7.4. Okay, so what you can do, Jayesh, what you can do, Suyog, you can uninstall the Python and just go for the updated version of the Python, and while installation, just click on that pip, and then after that you can get your opencv-python. Yes, are you getting this? Okay, so okay, so I have already installed. Now before starting the PyCharm installation, now PyCharm is the IDE in which we are doing all our next all the practicals we are doing on a PyCharm. But before starting the PyCharm IDE, we will do some Python basics. So if you don't know Python, then I will be telling you that what is the syntax of Python, and how to write the Python program. Very simple. Okay, so what I can do, okay, so where I am, pwd, I'm going to the documents, okay, ls, and then Python, like Python practice. Okay, so just I'm increasing the font so that all you can visualize. Okay, now is it visible, or should I increase the font bigger? Is it visible to all? Yes, is it visible to all? Okay. Okay, so we'll start with the Python basic first. So I'm going to the Python terminal. Now Python is very easy language, very simple. Now there are the simple data type just like your C, C++ and Java, like integer, character is not there, integer, float and string. These are some basic data types available. But suppose if I want to create a variable in a Python, how to create a variable? Very simple. Just name that variable. Suppose I'm giving the name to that variable as a num, and what data you want to store, just equal with that variable. Now num is equal to, suppose, 12. Num is equal to 10. Now You don't have to give the data type to that variable. Num equal to 12, the num becomes integer. Very simple. Now how to check? How to check that? What is the data type of that num? There is a print function is there. Using print function, you can print anything. Like suppose I want to print my name. Very simple. Print Ganesh. Now you can use single quote, double quote, triple quote. You can use any quote. Okay. So print Ganesh. Now I want to print the name, data type of the num variable. So how to do? There is a type function is there. Using this type function, you can get the type of that num. The type of the num becomes integer. Now, if I'm doing num is equal to Ganesh, num is equal to Ganesh. Now, what is the type? If I'm printing this again, now the num becomes str. Now that is the advantage of using Python. So once you declare the variable, in C language, the data type of that variable remains same until your program get terminated. Now it is not in the case of Python. You can change the data type of that variable multiple times. And what the data types contain, the data type will be decided by the what data you are going to store inside that variable. If you are going to store the integer, the data type will be integer. If you are going to store string, the data type will be string. If you are going to store the float value, then the data type will be float. The data type will be float. Very simple, very simple. Are you getting this? Just type yes. अगर आपको समझ में आ रहा है, just type yes. It should be some interactive. If you have any question or doubts, then you can unmute yourself. You can ask your question or you can post your question in chat box. I'll be answering your questions. Okay, so very simple. Variable declaration, yes. Okay, yes, Jitesh. It should be yes, should be in a double quote. Okay. Okay, now next one is decision control structure. How to create a decision control structure? So like if else, suppose in case of if I want to execute some statement depending on some condition. Now how to do a condition? You can get the condition by using the which operator you generally is used for making a condition. It's called as a relational operator. Now, what are the relational operator? Less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, and not equal to. Suppose there is a variable called as a is equal to 10. Okay, a is equal to 10. Now I want to execute something. If the a is equal to 10, so I can do this. If a equal to 10, then colon first. Now this is the syntax of Python. Firstly, write down if. Now write